down, brother.
What do you desire, Brother Gregor? I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who would you like to be the new abbot?
The old abbot isn't dead yet. It's too early to talk about elections. But if I had to choose between the two who are already putting themselves forward, John would be my choice. Why such haste?
To pray? Such haste. Pay more attention. Watch your step, brother. This is not a good time for questions, brother. Slow down, brother. Watch your step, brother. In a rush to pray. In a rush to pray? Talk to me, brother.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
Pay more attention, brother.
What would you like? I'd like to ask you something. I'd like to ask...
Watch your step, brother. Slow down, brother.
Therefore, the brethren should be occupied.
What troubles you?
I've heard there are some forbidden books locked up in the library.
That's correct. They're here, safely hidden away from anyone who might be tempted to read them.
What if I just wanted to take a peek? Could I?
You could not. They are legally prohibited, and the only people permitted access to them are the abbot and I. Although I see no reason why he or I would ever want to read them.
Not even if I were to beg? Or promise a favor in return?
If you could prove to me that you truly like books, then maybe.
Could a book be prohibited by mistake? Maybe a good book or a useful one?
No errors are made. Every book on the prohibited list is there for a reason. Who am I to doubt the wisdom of Mother Church?
How does a book get on the forbidden list?
Forbidden works are full of heresy and blasphemy and witchcraft. If you ask me, we should burn them immediately, not archive them.
I don't need to hear anything else.
The rule of
Brother.
Saint Benedict. Readings.
Where
on
were
daily
you during
meditation,
Mass?
idleness
Don't tell me
is
you
the
didn't
enemy
know
of
that
the
Holy
soul.
Mass is the
Therefore,
foundation
the
on
brethren
which your
should be
life here is
occupied at
built.
certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading.
I had other
To
affairs that
end,
needed
we
to be
think that
attended
the
to
times for
immediately.
each may be
It will never happen
prescribed
again.
as follows.
Really?
From Easter until the calendar
Fine then.
of October.
This time I will
When they
forgive
come
you,
out from
but
prime
next
in the
time
morning,
you'll
let
be
them
punished
labor
just
at
like
whatever is
everyone else.
necessary
Так, блин,
about the
как
fourth
это...
hour. And from the fourth hour until
Я же
about
был на
6,
месте,
let them
тупая эта
apply
игра.
themselves to reading.
Дайте поесть.
After the 6th hour having left, rest on their beds in perfect silence.
Говорите,
Anyone
прекрасно.
who read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early.
Pay more attention,
at the
brother.
8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned the task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness and at the same time not to overburden them or drive
Will
them
you
to
like?
excessive
Был я на месте, вы что, гоните?
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot,
I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I don't know much about him at all. Except that he's not a stickler for rules.
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. Sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
I'd like to know something about...
I don't...
Tell me about Antonius.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
You see, I'm looking for someone here.
You're looking for someone? But you're a novice, aren't you?
I am a novice. At least until I find the man I'm looking for.
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law, the law of the church.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery. He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm. He's taken many lives.
I heard something about that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me. It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't be. Have you told the prior? What are you going to do to this man once you find him?
Talk to him. Then I'll see. Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the imposter I'm looking for?
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never told me. Now I won't be able to sleep at night.
Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily matters. Idleness is the enemy of the soul.
If you could, who would you vote for to be the abbot?
But I can't vote, so what's the point of worry? Ask Antonius. He often talks about it, and I'm sure he has an opinion.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter, and soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Well, that's all. Thank you for your time, brother.
At the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly
What would you
brethren
like?
should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into
What troubles you?
consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Reading from the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say,
Will you tell me something about yourself?
that is good and
There's not much to tell. I lived in Vlashim, and after my father died, I found out I wasn't much of a merchant. So I left the shop to my brother and decided to become a monk. It's peaceful here. There's food and lots of time to read.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did. I might be the only one. The truth is, the idea of spending my life in a monastery was more appealing than being cooped up in a greasy old shop.
in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another.
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices.
Works or in obedience.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
Eyes to the fault.
That there's no man alive less suitable for the monastic life than him.
Let him cut out
You don't know young Lord Capon.
as soon
I've heard things. Siskin must have been like him, fighting, drinking, fornicating. But then he ended up in here.
Why is he in the monastery?
No one knows. Maybe he's hiding from something. Or maybe he's being punished.
Do you think he has a secret?
Don't we all? But unlike the others, he absolutely refuses to speak about his life before the monastery.
the fool is not corrected.
That's all I wanted to know about him. Thanks.
Beat your son,
I'm interested in Lucas.
he will deliver his soul.
No one knows much about him. He doesn't talk to anyone. He works, eats, sleeps, then does it all again the next day. It's as if he wanted to get it all over with as soon as possible. By it, I mean his entire life.
Than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed,
That's all. Thanks.
of hell and the glory of life everlasting.
Who would you choose as the new abbot if you could?
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote?
Any delay in
Gregor, don't go poking your nose into other people's business. You'll sleep better at night.
pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay
I'd like to know something about the...
I don't...
What can you tell...
obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his word will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed.
Talk to me, brother.
From Easter until the calends of the Pope.
I'd like to.
When they come out from the time in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone. Nature has to keep them from idleness, and their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Warmness. For the obedience given to superiors.
In a rush to
What's
pray.
your step, brother?
For if the disciples